veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've been gone for a little bit. Why were we gone? Well, we just took a little bit of time to just get some work done. I had to get caught up at the shop from being gone from racing. And as you see, the car kind of came apart. Well, we had a lot of little small things to do, and you guys have seen us take the heads off of this before. You've seen us do some of that stuff, so I didn't want to cover that again. But we also knew we were gonna be waiting on some parts. So we had to get stuff apart, order things, figure out what we needed, wait for it and everything, and it's just no fun having a video that's just strung out that long. So let's take a look at what we got going on real quick. Go down below, hit that like and subscribe. We completely appreciate that. And while you're at it, make sure you go down. You can check out the link in the description below to our website, badinfluencegarage.com, right here, and go to pick up a shirt like our new Keep Drag Racing Fun one, like that. So Pop is over here. He's putting the nuts on the head studs over on the even bank. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 over there, and we got 1, 5, or 1, 3, 5, 7 over here. If you're wondering about the why they're numbered that way and everything, right here, you can check out a video about V8 firing order we did. Anyways, so we took the heads off because we had a couple of issues with some of the threads. We also had to take, right here is an oil restrictor, and my stupid engine builder forgot to put one in. So if you guys know who that is, could you let him know real quick? That'd be great, thanks. So over here on the head, what we did, you can see I have it tipped up because we were doing some work here, but we have these studs here on the rocker stands. We actually had to go through and drill and tap and put in new inserts for these. And then I made those studs you were just seeing as well. That way we could have a better clamping force. The reason for the studs clamping force, the whole thing, those rocker stands actually do hold everything from kind of moving on there. They're torqued to like 45 or 50 foot-pounds. On top of that, the threaded inserts that we put in there, if you use a bolt every time, the threads are constantly biting into that insert. Or if you do a stud, the threads are on the top biting in, that's moving, and that's the nut, and then you can replace the stud. That way we don't have to replace those inserts anymore. So as you guys see on those pictures, this is what those studs look like. They are a machined steel insert. So right now we are getting the engine back together. You see Pop still working over there. He's getting the inner studs done on there. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything kind of sealed up and get the even or the odd head on 1, 3, 5, and 7. We're gonna get them torqued up, and it's a Thursday night, so we're gonna get them torqued up and maybe a couple other small things. Then we're gonna call it a day. Unfortunately, we're not going to film again until next week. Al is going in to have a carpal tunnel surgery, so that way he can, make a fist and come after me when I don't put, restrictors in an engine. Oh, we'll catch you guys next week when we pick up filming, but it's only going to seem like a couple of seconds because here it is. So a couple days later here, and we've made some more progress. I apologize about not filming everything. We took some time off, and it's taken me a little bit to get back in the rhythm, get that done. So but we're going to show you guys a bunch of stuff here today. As you see, we got the heads on. We were putting those on last time, and we got everything torqued down, 140 foot-pounds. So we go ahead, we got those on. I came in one afternoon, and I decided, well, I'm just gonna do some work real quick. So I got the manifolds put on. We got all the studs put in, everything there. Got the Y-pipe on. We cut off the wastegate for the driver's side, and we cut off the wastegate for the passenger side, because we're going to reroute those. And then I went ahead and started making, the elephant in the room here. Hood exit exhaust. It's one of those things that it's going to take me a bit to get used to this. I'm just not quite, sold on it. So anyways, today we're gonna get the wastegates kind of ready and show you kind of what we're gonna do, where we want to put them. We want to control, both sides individually before it gets up into our merge coming up in here. But we also want to continue with the one thing that I was really adamant about when we went turbo is I have to be able to recirculate the wastegates. It has to be recirculated in here. It's just I'm not a fan of the screamer pop, deals like that, and I just can't bring myself to do it unless it starts hurting our setup on there. I'm going to continue to do that. But let's go ahead. I'll show you our new wastegates. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at why we're changing from one wastegate to another and what's different inside here. So over here, we've got our old wastegates and the new wastegate. And I'll tell you guys everything about these. Firing. These are a VS Racing wastegate. They're a 60 millimeter wastegate. They run about between $170 and $190, depending on where you get them, everything like that. If you have a homey hookup or something, whatever. But they're very inexpensive. Okay. So yes, for those of you out there that do know about some of the brands here, we did go, 4 O's on, VS Racing $170 wastegates. So, and now we are going to the BSI or Black Sheep Industries Inc. Wastegate, also 60 millimeter, a little bit more expensive on here. These run US right around 325 to 340 in that area. I can't remember exactly, but right in that area. And they have a little bit different design. As you can see right away, let's take this off. As you can see right away, the actual diameter and everything and heights are about the same height, but the diameter of the dome on the top here is much smaller on the Black Sheep Industries versus the VS Racing. Now, why does that matter? Well, when we are putting CO2 pressure or air pressure or nitrogen, anything that you're using, when you're putting that on top of this to try to hold the gate shut, that's more volume you have to put on there. If I can do it with a little bit less volume, I want to do that. But we also don't want to have to crank too much pressure on that, to compensate for that, because we could have something that's teeny tiny, but you're gonna have to put a whole bunch of pressure because it's pushing against a large valve. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pop these apart quick and show you the real difference that's inside here. Here we have the inside of the VS Racing 60 millimeter wastegate. There's your cap. You can see machined inside there. In the inside there, you can see it's a little bit, almost looks serrated. Hopefully it's catching that way up in there. I don't know if that's to hold the spring from trying to spin, or if their machining had some chatter, because that's the only place that it would have had some chatter. So anyways, that's the spring up on top there. Here is the piston and diaphragm. And then you have your valves. That moves like this. And this is where our pressure pushes on here. And it's got this diaphragm. Like that. So that is the inside of a VS Racing. Let's go ahead and get this Black Sheep Industries apart. See why this one is going to be a little bit better for our setup. Now what do we have going on here? Well, this is our spring, but that's not a diaphragm. This is actually quite a bit different. What we have going on here is this moving up and down like that is actually moving up and down inside the cup. So it's going to be moving in and out of the cup that way. So when we're putting pressure up on top here, we no longer have the diaphragm flexing. So we don't have this chatter right here like this. See how that can do that? So we can put pressure on here that's trying to push down, but it's trying to push back, and it sits here and does this. Well, that's bouncing off of the seat. Now, when we put the pressure there, it's not going to fight, or it's not going to have that flex anymore from this diaphragm. This is going to help us with our more consistencies of our back pressure, and it's also going to help us a little bit more consistency for the commanded boost going down track. Very, very good upgrade on there. Obviously these do okay. We did do some reworking of these, and if you guys have any questions on how we reworked a VS Racing wastegate to work better, just go ahead and drop a comment below. We can either put it in a video, or feel free to send a email or a message to our social medias or our email, greg@badinfluencegarage.com. But we did do some reworking on these to work better for our combination and for a drag racing purposes. So that's not an out of the box deal. This right here, already going to be better out of the box than this was reworked. We are very excited to put these on. I'm excited to see, one, the different exhaust and how everything is going to work, but two, the back pressure differences that we're going to see with this, and the consistency and boost. Very excited to see that on the data, because I'm a nerd like that. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this back together. I'm gonna go back to the car, show you kind of what we're thinking for some of the wastegate stuff. We might have to throw the intake manifold on to make sure that our charge pipe is going to fit everything. So let's get back to this. So back over here at the car, we've got our two Black Sheep Industries wastegates. Put one of them on the other way around. So we're going to go ahead, and we want to get these kind of set up. Like I was saying, when this whole turbo deal, when we were nitrous and everything, and we decided to go turbo, my one contingent deal was I wanted to recirculate the wastegates because I don't like the open sound, the screamer pipe stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and try to figure out how we want to recirculate them, and also keep everything on this side. We would like both of these to be down in this area, but everything gets really, really close here. So we might need to move this up a little, and then we actually might need to cut this and add some on here. But before we can do that, we need to go ahead and get the intake manifold and carburetor on, and the charge pipe, so we know that we're not going to be in the way of this. And if we are, we can always clock our turbo and make a new charge pipe, or reposition our 5-inch exit and make the changes we need to there. So let's go ahead, drop this down a bit. Let's get an intake and all of that stuff on here real quick. So we see that this is all going to clear. That's actually really good. I was a little worried about it, but now I know for sure that we're going to be, in the clear, good to go on that. I'm actually going to throw the valve covers on this and call it an evening. It's actually almost 10 o'clock. Next time you see us, we'll be getting some wastegates figured out. Well guys, as you see, we got all the stuff put back up on top here. Everything is clear, so we're good there. We've got this set. We did put in a little bit of an extension to move this over, just because we needed to get it past where the cowl of the hood is. I didn't want it to be a part of that, so we got it moved over and everything up here. While I was away for just a couple of days taking care of these things, happened to have a conversation with a couple of guys. We had a nice little talk. We had some schooling going on, and we found out, or I found out, that there is a definitive reason why you do not put those back in here. I have to be able to recirculate the wastegates. I have to be able to recirculate. So I'm going to put this in the air and teach you guys that, and then figure out what we're going to do, because I'm kind of out of ideas. Okay, so let's try to make this as easy as possible and explain why we can't do what we had originally planned. What we have is an airflow issue. Okay, so we have our top pipe up here, or what we're going to call the down pipe. It's actually going up, but it is technically the down pipe. So the down pipe, we're trying to get all of the exhaust out of the turbo as efficiently as possible. We want to make sure there's no back pressure in this. You know, we want to make sure that we're, 2 psi or less of pressure in this tube. Now, when we have our wastegate, and say we have it plumbed like this, and it's gonna come right up and go right into the bottom here. All right, well, it's going exactly with right there. I mean, it should be fine, right? Well, when you have a low pressure in here of only maybe 5 psi, you shouldn't even be having that much in there, but you don't have, with a low pressure here, say we're at 40 pounds of boost up there, that means we've got 50 to 60 pounds of back pressure down in here. When this valve opens up, it's gonna shoot that back pressure, at 50 psi up into here. When it's already coming up, it's going to cause that to tumble. All right, unless you have it exactly perfect going out of there, it's gonna cause it to tumble. And when it starts to tumble in there, as this air comes up, now it's hitting that, it has to work harder, and you've introduced more pressure down the pipe. When you have more pressure down the pipe, it pushes on the turbine wheel down in the turbo, and that's gonna cause it to be slower. Slower is less efficient. So we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with our wastegates. And honestly, I'm kind of out of ideas. So let's, you guys leave something in the comments. What do you think I should do? Should we shove them straight up? Should we follow the pipe up like this? I mean, that might be neat. Take that same idea, but if I move it over, give it a kick out, I mean, we could possibly take the tube and have it come out right next to this, right here, and then when we do our second wastegate over here, it could kind of follow up underneath right here like that, so we'd have 2 pipes like this. It's a possibility. Leave a comment below and let me know, what do you think we should do? There's the easy button, and we just take and fire it straight down at the ground. But since it's so far forward in the chassis, I'm worried about it messing with the timing system with the tires going through on the starting line. We've already timed out on a tree. I don't want to be having any other issues there, so. Leave me a comment below. What do you think we should do? Should we run it up like that? Should we run a Y pipe and have one big 3.5 coming up with it, so these come that way? This is where you guys kind of get to give me some information and what you think is going to be best. Let's go ahead and I want to show you a couple other things we've been working on. Coming back, the transmission is at Bishop's Performance and Transmissions. They're going through it. They're actually adding a second dump valve. We had a single stage Hughes dump on the car before, and it's been working fairly well, but I wanted a little bit more tunability and adjustability, and I'm going to a 2-stage dump valve. So that's going to give us a little bit of extra, control and such. If that's something you guys are interested in learning more about, definitely tell me in the comments. I can't give you guys an informational video unless you tell me what you're interested in learning. So we do have a lot of different things there, and if you want to learn about some dump valve stuff, let me know in the comments below. We can definitely go over some of the theory and basics of that. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you click like, subscribe, everything there. It does help us out a whole bunch. Hit the website, www.badinfluencegarage.com, right here. Pick up a hat right there, one of our shirts. And until next time, guys, be safe out there.